Well. Welcome back to DR Sports as we witness yet another bottle job from Tottenham, aka Spurs. Let me know right now in the comments what you make of that. Big up to everyone who was just on the watch along. Fuad, Robbie himself, Abby, and Nikki. It was a fantastic watch. But Spurs had one job tonight and they couldn't quite do it, could they? 2-0 up at half time. And within the next 6 minutes of the second half, it was 2-2. And then you always knew that Lloris would probably drop a howler. And of course, it was 3-2. And then at that point, Perisic misses an absolute sitter, and then Mahrez finishes it off to make it 4-2 at the end. And that was the final score. 6 goals, a thriller. It almost had everything this game. But Spurs to be 2-0 up away at City in the way that City are currently playing and to not kill that game off, it's criminal. It's criminal. Spurs had one job and they couldn't do it. Before we get into the deep analysis of this game, make sure that you like the video. I know there's going to be a lot of people tuned into this one to find some Spurs tears in the comments. Comment with your thoughts as well on the game. And, of course, subscribe to DR Sports if you haven't already. Very close now to 250,000 of you, 250,000 of you involved on DR Sports. Hopefully we can get to that very, very soon. But I want to talk about this game from the start to the finish. Let's really break it down. It was a very entertaining game, to be fair, from start to the end. It was feisty, a lot of tackles flying in, maybe a couple of tackles that maybe deserve more, if I'm honest, in terms of punishment. But if we start off, it was an awful half, really, for Man City. Booed off at half time, guys. Have you ever seen Man City get booed off at half time? I can't certainly remember anything like that in the Pep reign so far, but they are currently in a bit of a downward spiral. But they've pulled it back tonight. But the first half definitely didn't do anything to calm those nerves before the game and to remind themselves that they had to win this game. They had to get back to winning ways after losing 2 in a row in both competitions to Southampton and Man United in the derby, which must have hurt them. But they were back at home today, and you know, when you're 2-0 down, especially after the first goal, I think when the second one goes in, that's when the anxiety begins to grow in the fan base, in the crowd, and that's why they booed at half-time. But the first goal, I don't know what City were thinking. We, of course, know that they like to play it out from the back. They're probably the best at doing it. Ederson, very good on his feet. But that pass into, who was it, Rodri, right on the edge of his own box, inviting that pressure on. And Rodri gets suffocated, really. It's well pressing. It's well pressed by Tottenham. And it's 1-0. Kulusevski with this tidy little finish, getting back to a little bit of form that we saw before the injury. I definitely believe in Kulusevski. I think he's a very good player and he's clinical. He's actually a goal scorer as well, this fella. I think he's scored 9 goals since January, since he joined. Obviously, massively unlucky this season when it comes to injury. But he sniffed out that chance tonight. He was in the right position. He closed Rodri down brilliantly. We rarely see Ederson make a mistake. We rarely see Rodri give the ball away. But as I said, they were suffocated by that high Tottenham press. And when you're pressing that high up the pitch, you can cause mistakes to happen. Now, that's what happened. Rodri, as I said, rarely loses possession of the ball, but he gets caught out. And it's Kulusevski with a tidy finish under the goalkeeper. It's 1-0. Fast forward 2 minutes later, it's 2-0 to Tottenham. They're in dreamland. The fans are thinking this is another away victory at the Etihad. Another one, because if there's any team, maybe apart from Crystal Palace, I know Brentford have won there, Leicester have won in recent years there, but I would say Tottenham are the main team when it comes to upsetting the rhythm at the Etihad in an away game. And when that second goal went in again, brilliant from Harry Kane. The way he got the ball off Rodri, slides in, and it was looking like it could have been a foul, but no, Rodri stayed up. Kane took the ball away, making it a clear and obvious good tackle, not a foul. Slams the ball across the 6-yard box. It was a shot, it was a cross, it was just to cause chaos, it was to cause drama, and boy, did it do that. Ederson slips and kind of parries it out. And fair play to Emerson Royale for the quick thinking, the header. I mean, to be honest, Tottenham fans have been giving Emerson Royale, ever since he joined, really, absolute pelters in the stadium and online as well. I know for sure Expressions definitely has been guilty of that, if I'm honest. And apparently his stream tonight was incredible, as Dio mentions here. And Tane says, bro, Expression stream was the best stream I've ever seen. So I need to make sure I go over and watch that after. But when that second goal goes in and it's a player like Emerson to score it, you got to give him his props. He's a right back, right up there in the 6-yard box, the cross coming in the box. And this was a 2-minute period between the first goal and the second goal. So Tottenham smelt blood at this stage. This was the point in the game when you go in at half-time, 2-0 up, after 2 clinical half chances, really, that you've created for yourself due to high pressing. Because let's face it, Rodri was trying to shield that ball to go out. Kane didn't give it up. He pressed high. He forced the mistake, slams it across goal. It comes out. And if you're not in the right positions at the right time, you're not going to score the goal. It sounds very Michael Owen-esque. Well, if you don't score goals, you don't win games. If you're not in the right position, then you won't receive the ball. And Emerson Royale, in all fairness to him, was in the right position at the right time. Tiny little header as well, 2-0. Now we're going in at half-time. This is the time where Antonio Conte rallies up his troops and says, listen, we are 45 minutes away from a massive victory. It's going to help our rivals, by the way. You saw Robbie basically being a Tottenham fan for 45 minutes. We're 2-0 up here. Nothing silly in the first 10 minutes. Let's get through this initial period of turbulence where they're going to be coming at us hungry to punish us for that big first half. Let's be tight. Let's be organised. Let's defend well. Now, the first goal that goes in again, Lloris maybe should have done better with the initial save. It gets parried out. And this is a period now where Man City can smell blood. It's turning into a bottle job at this stage, right? Because Julian Alvarez slams it home 2-1. And at that stage, you're thinking, well, the momentum is clearly with City. They've come out like injured lions, injured boars into the second half. And again, just like Tottenham did in the first half, it was a taste of their own medicine. It was the bottle job complete. It was 2-2 before you know it. Haaland getting his first goal of 2023, running straight back. And this is like 54 minutes in, by the way. Straight back to the centre spot, jumps on his spot, and is ready again to score that third goal. Now, it took some time. It wasn't automatic 3-2. There was some resistance. There was some opportunities for Spurs, including Perisic, right? What a clearance off the line from Hall. Rico Lewis. Is that his name? Rico Lewis, I think it is. Let me know in the comments if I've got that one wrong. Hall's the Chelsea left back. I think it's him. It's Rico. It's definitely Rico. I'm liking the look of this kid. He's obviously got that Pep trust. Pep trusts him to play at left back over the likes of Sergio Gomez, who he brought in the summer to replace really Zinchenko and obviously Benjamin Mendy, who's now been cleared, by the way. So he's given him that opportunity. He's a local lad. And what a clearance off the line that was. That's unbelievable. It is lucky as well. It is lucky. It hit him in maybe the best position it could have. But that was unbelievable and a massive moment for Tottenham. Arguably, Perisic should have done better with the shot. As you can see, it was straight at the keeper, really. And maybe the keeper would have even saved that. It is Rico Lewis. I think he has to do better there. He's got to find the gaps. I mean, the ball flies across and he's got a fair bit of time, to be fair, to actually pick his spot. Maybe he could let it go across his body and take it with his left foot. We know he's excellent on his left foot, but he goes for that right-handed side. And again, like I said, Rico Lewis, what a block. Comes off the postage stamp, as we say in football, where the post and the crossbar meet. And at that point, you're thinking, hang on a minute, Spurs could do it again here. They could score another one and win at the Etihad again 3-2 like they did last season. Kane, linking the play up well. I thought Kulusevski was brilliant throughout the game. Even though they lost the game, I thought he was their brightest spark. Bentancur came off. Again, he could have maybe got punished a little bit more than his yellow card. But there were some good performances from Tottenham. I can't necessarily say that they played awfully. There were periods in the second half when they were definitely the aggressive team. They were the team pushing City back. City were rattled at some points within that pressure, but ultimately we always knew, being the home team, chasing the game, wanting to win, needing to win, you're going to get more chances, right? And to be fair, when it was 2-2, there was still such a long way to go that you couldn't really call it. But as the game wore on, and we're talking around 60 to 65 to 70 minutes, the class just shines through, really. Mahrez with a great finish to make it 3-2 on the near post. Yes, there was a deflection, but I think the skill that he's shown to get round his man and flash it across the goal. I think as well, he probably is aware of the fact that Lloris isn't playing the best right now, and that he might drop a little clanger every now and again. So he beats his man, flings it across the front post really with his right foot, and it does take a deflection. Now, he has been beaten at his front stick with a deflection, facts, but you've got to be covering that space. And listen, Lloris knows this. He's been a top goalkeeper for the last 10 to 15 years. But Tottenham fans, let me know in the comments right now. Is it time for him to finally move on? You've been very loyal to Hugo Lloris, World Cup winner, we know, captain, we know. But you've got to be saving that at your near post, even with a deflection. I'm sorry. Even the shot before it got deflected, is there an argument to say he would have missed that? The deflection does take it away slightly. But even still, you've got to have that near post covered. You have to. And it's another howler. I'm sorry to say it, but it is another howler in the third goal. And then at the end, right at the end of the game, almost, Riyad Mahrez beats his man, goes across his man, which is the key for a winger. If you're looking to play down that middle as well, which is where his goal came from, the fourth one, you've got to get across your man, because then you're drawing either a red card, or you're basically, your man has to let you go past, because if he touches you and you go down, to be fair, in these days, it might be the double jeopardy rule and you might not get sent off. But you know what I mean? He did the right thing, as any winger should do. If any young wingers are out there watching, that's what you do. You come across your man, you beat him, you get the space, and it was a great finish. Chipped it over the keeper. And that kind of rounded off a very topsy-turvy game. 4-2 in the end. If we can look at some of the stats, in the end, it does look fairly one-sided. 16 shots to 9 for City. They had 60% of possession, which is actually fairly low considering what they normally get. Shots on target 6, 4 goals out of those, 8 corners to 3, and there were more Tottenham fouls than City fouls. But Riyad Mahrez now, let's talk about him. He has been involved in more Premier League goals against Tottenham than any other opponent. 11 now, scoring 7 and assisting 4. He is certainly Spurs' bogey player, and he proved that again tonight as well with 2 goals. And it was 2 minutes and 8 seconds between Tottenham's goals, and 2 minutes and 9 seconds between Man City's first 2 strikes tonight. How quickly can a game of football shift? We're talking about 129 seconds, and you can score 2 goals in football away at the Etihad, and then concede 2 away at the Etihad. Football's a crazy game, and that's why it's the best sport in the world. Absolutely. A lot of Spurs fans obviously very disgruntled. Typical Spursy performance, if you will. Let's get into the comments right now, because they're juicy and it's kicking off. Remember to get your comments in, like the video, and subscribe to DR Sports if you haven't already. Manchester City 4, Tottenham Hotspur 2. A very bottle job. Shit Spurs performance, as Brandonja has said there. It should say Arsenal got embarrassed for helping Spurs and got what they deserved. Gooners, says Barry Greenberg. Mahrez over Salah, says Magar Omonk. Well, right now, as you know, a very big Liverpool fan that I am, right now I'd have to agree with you. Mahrez is bossing it for Man City right now, and he is outshining Salah in terms of form right now. Robbie was a fan at this game for Tottenham. Spurs had one job, obviously a sad Arsenal fan there. Bottlers, capitulation FC, says Ryan Rogers. Spurs are absolutely embarrassing, says Ash L. Conte the clown, says Sam Mehmet. Spurs taking the L. Spuds had one job. Spuds are so bad. Given 2 goals and gave up 4 unanswered. The length Spurs will go to stop Arsenal winning the league. Shocking. Tottenham get battered everywhere they go. And Muna, potentially here, accusing Hugo Lloris of allegedly accepting brown envelopes in some sort of... Anyway, I won't go into that. This is why they will win the Prem, says Lobby. Does that result today, does that make you feel like this is Man City's to win now? We know how well they can come back. We saw it on the last day of the season. They were 2-0 down. Liverpool fans were in dreamland. Important to hydrate yourself when you are the only presenter talking non-stop. But is this now Man City's form coming back here? Are we now looking at a championship winning team? They're the kind of results that champions do. I remember a game when Liverpool won the league where we've come from behind many times and gone on to win the league. And that is the kind of performance that you say, well, remember that game at Tottenham when they were 2-0 down? They went on to win that 4-0. Sorry, 4-2. Well, it was 4-0 in the second half, wasn't it, to Man City in the end? But that's the type of performance, the type of result, the type of comeback where you sit back and go, that is very similar to what champions do. But again, Arsenal, you can't rule them out. Man City have still got a long way to go. Tottenham are now 20 points behind Arsenal. A win is a win, says Saka. The Tribalites, Trilobites, bottled it again. Not too sure what that means. I'm an Arsenal fan, but I feel sorry for Spurs, says Mohammed. Are you an Arsenal fan in the comments right now? Yes, you at home watching this right now. Do you feel sorry for Spurs? Let us know in the comments. Jean-Pierre Shields, great name, says, I'm glad Man City won. Take the title so Arsenal can have tears. There you go. As a Spurs fan, it's a win-win, says Good Beats Ent. Big up to you. Wisdom Hub gets in touch. He says, Tottenham get battered everywhere they go. There you go. Let's get into some of the newer comments. I've tried to start right up from the top to make sure that I haven't missed anyone out. Everyone can predict Conte's game plan before the game starts, says Tony Park. And Funk Mastered says Spurs only seem to have one good half in them. Tonight it was the first half with those 2 goals. Super chat here from Omar Days, big up to you. He's saying Mahrez was moving like Aladdin's magic carpet. He was absolutely fantastic tonight, and he has been for some time. And do you know what? His goal record for Man City is incredible, really. He's been there for a while now, guys. He's been there for a good, I would say, 5 years now? 5 years at least. He's been fantastic for them, really. It was Cackburn Rovers who instigate the inflation of transfer prices. Not too sure who Cackburn Rovers are, mate, to be honest. You're next this Saturday. Be ready. Who is that? Chelsea, talking about Liverpool this weekend. Brilliant. You should be ready, mate. You're coming to Anfield, not the other way around. You've won 2 in 15 against Liverpool, so hold that. Expressions has cancelled tomorrow. Do you know what? Yeah, Expressions isn't going to be very happy going into Best of Enemies filming tomorrow. We always do that in the studio on a Friday, and sometimes when I'm finishing the preview show, I watch that show live, and I tell you what, it's one of the best shows to watch. I feel lucky I watch it live in the studio before you guys see it. Tomorrow's going to be an absolute belter. Don't you worry about that. It's just the history of the Tottenham from Mohammed Ahmed, who is quoting, what's his name? Collini, right? It is Collini when he says it is the history of the Tottenham. Yep, brilliant. Arsenal think Tottenham will do the job for them. Keep dreaming. Ajmal says there. And Mahrez needs to move to Barcelona, says Galito Silva. Very good name, that. LJ Brown says, when your legend Lineker said Spurs are being Spursy, that's when you know. Arsenal fans wanted Spurs to win. Spurs fans wanted Man City to win. So who's actually happy with this result? That is a fantastic question from Dendi Item, all the way from Malaysia. Big up to you, my friend. LJ Brown, when your legend. Yep, just read that one out, Al. Come on, mate. Concentrate. Hey, Alex, Spurs did this on purpose. It's for the greater good, says Jean-Pierre. City need to kick on now and win the Prem. Do you think Conte will be fired after that awful performance? It'd be pretty harsh to fire someone after that, considering you were 2-0 up. I mean, yes, you've bottled it massively again. But no, I don't think he gets sacked after that. But I mean, Abbey wants him gone. I don't think it's more of a sacking. It's just a replacement, which I guess is sacking still. But you know what I mean. It's not Tottenham fans wanting him necessarily to get sacked. It's just that they probably prefer Poch. Big up to Raz. Love you, AGT. Come on, you Gunners. Big up to you, mate. Thank you very much for the love. Big up to everyone sending in very nice comments tonight. Lightwork Lane says JRD. Best Premier League match I've ever seen, says Nitin Parikh. Not too sure about that. I think there has been slightly better ones. Man City will win the league this season. Interesting thought there. Are Spurs real? Yes, what you have seen tonight is in fact real. It's not a dream or a nightmare. Are Loris finish as a top Premier League goalkeeper? Yes. It's time to move on now, Tottenham and Hugo Lloris. You've got to part ways. I would imagine Hugo Lloris could happily go and play in the south of France somewhere, sipping on a nice little wine, maybe a cheeky cigarette or a cigar in the old the vineyards. I can imagine that. White shirt open, sunglasses, little hat on. Yeah, I can imagine that. So I think that's his calling in life now. You've played football at the top level. You've won the World Cup, mate. Granted, you've not won a sod all thing with Tottenham, as anyone has, you know, apart from the Audi Cup, obviously. But chill, take it easy, put your feet up. You know, you've done your bit. You've won the Euros as well. Take it easy, you know, chill, man. You're old as well, fella. Can't defend your near post. In other news, Beyonce will be performing Drunken Lorries. We be all night after the game at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Cigars all round. Conte needs to go tonight, says Isidore DI. I reckon Pep gave them a walloping. He must have absolutely put it up them, pause, at half time for them to come out fighting like that. 2 goals in 5 to 7 minutes. That is the kind of response you want from your players at halftime, especially when they got booed at halftime as well, by the way. That's exactly what you need. Good fight from City, says Damien. Fighting back like it's City's birthright. Papa Blankson, guess we chat to Brighton, Fulham, and them now. That's our level. I guess it is, fella. Light up those cigars again. Well done, Tottenham. You never walk alone from Mohamed Ahmed. Big up to you. Blackburn. There you go. It wasn't Cackburn, was it? Pep the Master does it again. Oh, Philippines, not Malaysia. Sorry, Filipino Geordie. That is some accent, that is, I tell you. Alex, I seriously believe he needs to go. How long can he stay on for? Yeah, I mean, they've got to make sure that the replacement is ready to come in on the day almost and get started straight away. They have to organise a pay package to see him off if they are to sack him. These things take a couple of days, maybe 3 or 4 to set up. I just don't know. I've got a feeling that Levy doesn't sack him. I think he stays with them for a little bit more. City will be winning the Prem, says Tebsa. And the best game this season was hand down City versus Newcastle, says Sid H. City will win the league again, says Solomon Iboko. Big up yourself, AGT, says Omar Days. Big up to you, fella. AGT carrying DR Sports. I do have a sore back. I don't know if that's from carrying the channel or Barry's boot camp. But I am going to Barry's boot camp in the morning. Guys, I'm shitting myself because it is heavy in there. I don't know if you guys have ever been. Spurs are Sunderlona, says JRD. Not too sure about that. Appoint Sean Dyche for Shittingham FC. Very complimentary there. I love how the first half of this video has been very deep analysis of the game. Now we're just getting into insults here. ATG is so handsome. Not AT, it's AGT, first of all, mate. Or lady, hopefully. Nothing wrong with it. I was called unconventionally handsome on DR Sports last week. So I don't know what to believe, but thank you for the nice comment. Alex, you've just taken over as the Spurs manager. How many players are safe? 1, 2? If so, who? Oh, it's a good question. Lloris isn't safe. You might be going home. Emerson, you're going home, son. Get your bags packed now. Ben Davis got to go. Eric Dyer got to go. Sessegnon probably not good enough. Who else? Let me think now. I don't think Richarlison's good enough, if I'm honest. I actually made a bet with my Tottenham mate this season that he wouldn't score more than 6 goals, and I'm on for that at the minute. Who else needs to go? Doherty probably. A lot of defenders. That's probably where Tottenham's problem is, really, isn't it? Who else is there? I pretty much mentioned, I mean, Kane should probably leave just for his own sake to win some trophies in his career. Sonny's not looking good at the minute. Do you know what? They need a bit of a rebuild, Tottenham. They really do. Kulusevski definitely is safe. He's safe. So in answer to your question, I would say maybe 4 or 5 at most are safe. Højbjerg safe. Bentancur safe. Kulusevski, Kane, Romero just. 4 or 5, man. Let me know if you agree with me. Your budget is 120 plus, whatever you sell. Oh, that's a good question. Transfer budget. Who would I bring in for Tottenham? Bissouma hasn't worked. Brought in him for 40 odd mil. Who would I bring in for Tottenham? It would be a striker. It would be someone like a Vlahovic, and someone like a. Good question. Vlahovic would get around 75 mil, and then what about 45 mil to spend after that. 35. I would go with Oh, good question. Probably a goalkeeper. Let's go with the goalkeeper. Someone like, trying to think who I saw at the World Cup. You could even try and get a Kepa for around that price. I think they do that. Big up, Alex. Do you think Spurs underestimated City? Yes and no. No in the first half because they were battering City 2-0. But in the second half, bottled it. So I guess, yeah, they did underestimate them in the second half. I think this whole club should just go, says Kevin Rees. Very damning there of Tottenham Hotspur. Trossard signing for Arsenal. Thoughts? If you want to hear my thoughts on that, go and watch the half-an-hour video we did this morning on transfers. It was around half an hour anyway. Absolutely. Caravaggio, 100%. Very good player. Go get Mendy. Yeah, you could say that as well. Spurs could get Unai Simon. Yep, for sure, they could. Spain's #1. But there you go, guys. City 4, Tottenham 2. A typical Spurs performance. A spirited fight back from City after being 2-0 down at halftime at home. And they were booed at halftime. They were ringing around the stadium. They definitely weren't happy considering they've also lost the last 2 games before this. But Tottenham do what Tottenham do, unfortunately. For them, is the history of the Tottenham. But guys, what is it today? Thursday. Tomorrow we'll be back with more transfers, of course, and the weekend preview show. On Saturday, it will be Abby on the Saturday football show. Really looking forward to tuning into that. I will be at the Liverpool-Chelsea game. Very much looking forward to being back at Anfield. And then on Sunday, I think there's more post-game reaction in the studio this time after the big one. The absolutely big one. Manchester United and Arsenal go head-to-head at the Emirates. Can't wait for that one. But listen, this result was going very much in Arsenal's way in the first 45 minutes, but the second 45 proved to be Manchester City's. Can they fight back and win this title now under the noses of their former employee, Mikel Arteta? Tonight was a good start in making sure that they can do that. But Arsenal fans, it's not nice to be a Tottenham fan, is it? Take care. We'll see you soon. All the best.